Angel investors, mostly in Northern Ontario, but more across the region and throughout the rest of the country and internationally with Northern entrepreneurs. So businesses and entrepreneurs have to be based in Northern Ontario, but our investors are throughout the world. Our success is really that we are the one angel network in Northern Ontario, but we're an 8-chapter community. So Thunder Bay, Sault Ste. Marie, Sudbury, North Bay, Timmins, Kenora, Parry Sound, and we're doing work in the far north with and for Indigenous investors and entrepreneurs. That's Mary Long Irwin. She was my predecessor, and she's now transitioned to be a consultant for Thunder Bay and international, attracting a lot of international investors to good deal exposure in Northern Ontario. There's myself, the executive director, Kim Wahama Deshane. Couldn't do this evening without her, and our colleague Taryn, who's our marketing and communications coordinator based out of Timmins. So our team is truly Northern. We are represented by a board of directors, volunteer board of directors, and they're regionally based as well too. One of our board of directors is here this evening, Dr. Debbie Saunders, huge champion for everything that we do. Our organization doesn't exist without funding from FedNor. They've been our historical funder. It was actually their idea to come up with the Northern Ontario Angels in 2005. Without their support, our organization doesn't exist. And we're also supported by the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation. Very grateful for those contributions. And then we partner with the private sector. So in the next little while, we're really going to be focusing on women investors, attracting women investors, and working with women founders and Indigenous entrepreneurs and Indigenous investors. So some of our successes, since inception, we've done over 500 deals. If you take all the sources of our investments, that's over $730 million. So that's angel investment, that's government funding, that's conventional sources, that's founders funding, and other angel networks. Of that 730, Northern Ontario Angels have put in over 30% of that. So we're the biggest quotient of that pie. We're starting to see more money come from outside of the region, from international investors up to 45 million, and then a staggering number of over 5,000 full-time jobs that have been created. Half of our deals are technology-based deals, and there's a ton of different technologies within that. We work very closely with Peter and Brendan at NORCAT and the other regional innovation centers. We'll see that number grow over the years. There's a lot of excitement around entertainment here. There's studios being built across the region.
Why is NORCAT Innovation really important for what it does here in town? Well, we never had before the ability to take a startup who had an idea here in Sudbury and find mentoring, coaching, and funding for that individual. Most of them always have to go out of town. We've changed the dynamics of that. People now say, hey, let's go to NORCAT because I can register as a client. I have this idea, and we set up with our mentorship board, and I help with the due diligence and trying to find that value proposition Ian was talking about. Since we started really putting NORCAT Innovation on really high alert, we have raised over $38 million in angel investing and venture capital for the companies that we have worked with since 2015. So pretty proud of what we're doing, and we're contributing to the number total of what NOA is doing. So we work hand in hand with them. The whole part of trying to what NORCAT is really trying to do is we want to work with what Ian and I really is our pet project, and that is called redistributing the balance. And what do we mean by that? The balance between women and men and what's happening. And I'll give you an example of a figure at the end of 2020. Fortune magazine reported that the increase in wealth in the world was $1.8 trillion. 91% went to men. We've got to change the dynamics of that. And evenings like tonight, hopefully we'll start that change because, like I say, NOA and NORCAT, we're committed to trying to work with women startups and trying to add particular attention to those startups and getting women angel investors to look at some of these deals. What is it about your value proposition, about your idea, your magic widget that completely is different than anybody else is doing? If you can prove that by doing all your homework, then come and see us. We'll be glad to work with you. First of all, and one of his things he was going to talk about is what is happening to our ecosystem here in Northern Ontario, and specifically in Sudbury. First, he says the startup ecosystem in Northern Ontario is the strongest, most confident, and most supported it's ever been in the history of Ontario. There's no question things are happening in Northern Ontario that's never happened before. We now have the strongest government support at the federal and provincial levels via the likes of IRAP and FedNor. Thank you to Paul Lefebvre and now Vivian Lapointe, who is carrying on his project to make us even more dynamic. Thank you for being here tonight. And also the province with their NOHFC and Ontario Centres of Excellence. We have tremendous support from them at every level that we want to go with our innovation sector. We have some of the strongest regional innovation centers across Northern Ontario because we have 5 specific areas that Ian sort of already has alluded to of how we have NOA reps in each one of them. So we're taking information and we're taking applications from all over the north. So we want to make the north as a real attractive draw where people from the south can come here. Because before everybody used to leave, now we want them to stay here and bring new people up here. And that's one of our biggest mandates. He says, we have a very large group of volunteer mentors who give their time, especially here in Sudbury, and to all of those who are volunteering in this room, thank you very much. We have the best access to customer market opportunities and deal flow that we've ever had, because we have this association now with venture capital angel funds like Archangel Network, with the Axion Fund, and with Phoenix Fire Fund. As an example, the theme of this evening, we have amazingly vibrant and largely untapped angel investor community, and the women who can participate, hopefully in one way or the other, in increasing our angel network so that we have these successful angel women investors who can help us with women startups in all areas of Northern Ontario.
NOAA has been around for a while now, but it's really through the leadership of Ian Lane and Peter and Ian's new team that has really promoted NOAA and actually has made us look so presentable. We've been impressive for a number of years, but it's really Ian's work and our consultants that are really bringing it to the next level. It's really hard to believe that we're the #1 angel organization in North America. But I do think that that's reflective of the type of people that we are, the type of commitments that we see to the people in the North, and how we truly believe in wanting to build and stay in our communities. So I've been asked to talk tonight on why become an angel investor. My simple answer is it's a natural extension of what we already do. For those in the room that don't know me, I'm a dentist by training, mother of 3 boys, aged 13, 18, and 19. If you see a little reflection over my head, it's not the lighting. I've earned this. I have no females in my house, not even a female dog. I'm medical director of the Department of Dental Oncology at the Northeast Cancer Centre. I'm a clinical researcher and co-lead of Cancer Solutions with my BFF colleague, Dr. Lacey Petrie. This is our new leadership role through Health Sciences Research Institute. Our collective role is to support research initiatives, expand accessibility and clinical trials to cancer patients in the North, and increase collaboration between our bench scientists and stakeholders to expand cancer research. I am Associate Professor at the Northern Ontario School of Medicine, creating a bridge between dentistry, oral health, and medicine. Lastly, I'm an angel investor and a board of the Northern Ontario Angels. I will admit to be somewhat uncomfortable in listing my credentials as I realize that my knowledge level doesn't really match all the titles that I hold. It's my comfort zone. But this discomfort is what pushes me, and I think all of us in the room, to grow and develop, and in turn to reach new levels of achievement. We share a common bond to Northern entrepreneurs where the sky is the limit, seeing nothing as impossible. Every guest in this room was invited based on your credentials and, as importantly, on where you started from. For all of you, your present status is the byproduct of great sacrifice, mentorship, and hard work. Like our entrepreneurs, we share a dream and have demonstrated the stamina to create and promote change. Respecting our own achievements, we can then see the possibilities in others. As an angel investor, investment dollars, or simply being or encouraging a voice to our northern entrepreneurs, has the ability to transform ideas from concept to realization. I am not lying when I say that. Simply by mentoring and supporting some of these startups by your expertise and your background has a huge impact. You don't even need to give money. Your role as an advocate can mean millions of dollars of promotion for these companies. I have personally felt this firsthand, and I really find that probably the most valuable thing that I do outside of my normal work and raising my lovely 3 boys. It is a wonderful feeling to know you have made a difference in someone else's life. As I look around the room, I see a group of women who are nurturers, educators, businesswomen, mentors, and caregivers, and politicians. Being an angel investor means the same qualities, like the residents, patients, clients, public, and children that we care for. We get to experience the ups and downs, same as the entrepreneurs that we support. You will learn more over the course of tonight and the upcoming sessions planned that angel investing is high risk. It is not for everybody. It should be viewed as a healthy balance to your investment portfolio that provides an important social good and a contribution to entrepreneurs from our northern communities. For me, the sense of purpose I get from investing in this way is extremely rewarding. The idea that we can, as a northern collective, change the landscape of entrepreneurial playing field by expanding and diversifying our complement of investors like us women really excites me. Through the leadership of Ian Lane and Mary Long Irwin, the Northern Ontario Angels are committed to promote this diversity of entrepreneurs and investors well into the future. I've always believed the best way to communicate and collaborate with peers, colleagues, and patients is by using plain language. It is encouraging to see many research publications moving in the same direction. This is the only way I can see purposeful communication with outside groups. Plain language eliminates intimidation, which can otherwise decrease buy-in and stymie future collaborations. Part of my research career has been in knowledge translation, translating complex language of research to the clinician and ultimately to the patients that we serve. This is the model that the Angels Investing 101 is following. In closing, I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight. This is so impressive. I'm so excited. Tonight's event is really only meant to educate, inspire, and inform you on what it means to be an angel investor. As I said in my introduction, I became an angel investor because it was a natural extension of what I do. If you decide to become involved, I'm sure your experience will be the same. Thank you very much.